What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. Please, Kevin. Can I just focus? Can you just pick a game so you can just... He's been scrolling through this game screen thing, picking a game
for a game to buy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Take two.
Action. What's up, it's Jan back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. Welcome to Vlogmas, Bookmas, 25 Days of Janmas, day 23. Okay, so this video I've been planning for literal months. I was just waiting for Kayla's 2022. Okay, let me just start over. So this is gonna be my 2021 Buzzword-a-thon recap and 2022 suggestions for each prompt. So if you didn't know, Buzzword-a-thon is hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala, and it's this year-long reading challenge where she has a buzzword for each month, and then you could either read books with that word in the title for a whole week, or just one book for that month that has that word in the title or phrase or whatever or theme. I started participating in February. I didn't know about it in January for some reason. Like, where was I, you know? Also, peep my mug. It has a B on it because, you know, buzz. Get it? I have yet to read my December book, but she just released her 2022 prompts a couple weeks ago. I wanted to make this video to give y'all suggestions for each prompt for next year because it's fun. I love the Buzzword-a-thon. It's such an accomplishment to read a book with the buzzword. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna say the 2021 word, say the book that I read, if I read one for that month, talk about it a little bit, and then say the 2022 buzzword, and then give y'all a bunch of suggestions because I have a list on my phone because I can't remember shit. January 2021, didn't participate, but the buzzword was dream. I found out about this readathon like halfway through January, but it was too late for me to start Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles, but I could still read it for January 2022 because the buzzword is the 5 W's. Well, and how. Okay, so where, what, when, where, what, where, what, who, when, why, and how. So you could read Where Dreams Descend, When Night Breaks, Who is Maud Dixon, oh, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is, shameless plug, my book club pick for January. And if you didn't know, I host a book club all by myself called Full Moon Book Club. The information is always linked down below in all of my videos. Our live shows are always on the full moon of every single month, and I have a guest host every month. For January, our live show is January 17th. My guest host is Kat from BookTube Beginnings, and yeah, the book pick is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. If you want to know the next 3 book club picks, that'll be linked down below. There's also When We Make It by Elizabeth Velasquez, When We Collided by Emery Lord, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, She Who Became the Sun, which I really want to read because it's like a Mulan retelling. I feel like it's too high of a fantasy for my brain cells, but we'll see. There's also When the Stars Go Dark by Paula McLean. For February 2021, the buzzword was colors, any color in the title, and the book I read for this was House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Oh, this freaking book. I read this during a 24-hour readathon with my friend Sarah from Sarah's Shelves, and I listened to this on audio because I wanted to see what all the hype was about. It was not it for me, y'all. I feel like if I read it physically, it would have been a lot better, but the audiobook, there was this one character that the narrator did the stupid ass voice to. The character's name was Chauncey, and the voice, like, I can't even explain it, but it was just so annoying. I understand like how everyone says it's adorable and it's like found family. The story was cute. I just don't get all the hype. I really don't. In February 2022, the buzzword is pronouns. Some of my suggestions are You by Carolyn Kepnes, which I still have to freaking read, and I still have to finish season 3 of. Have you watched You? Do you want to watch it?
What's it about?
Obsession. It's about this dude named Joe Goldberg, literally obsessed with these women, and then he just like does everything he can to get these women, and he like kills everyone around them, stalks them. It's creepy. It's great. Okay, he doesn't want to watch it. I guess I'm finishing season 3 alone, it's fine. There's also Her Soul to Take, which is getting so much hype on like Bookstagram and stuff. Everyone's reading it on their Kindles, but it's like a 400+ page book about like a taboo romance. I really want to read it. There's also You've Reached Sam, which is really good. Gave that one 5 stars. I'll have my vlog linked down below. I cry a ton. The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. Why do I have like 5 suggestions for this one? This one's so easy. What the fuck? For March 2021, the buzzword was time, and I read Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney on audio. I give this one 3 stars. It was good, but it was so confusing. There was this whole like bracelet thing, or was it a necklace? I think it was a bracelet. I was just so confused at the end, and like whether the sister was her sister or like who was who. It was weird, but it had good quotes from what I remember. I usually rate audiobooks a 3 anyways because I tend to zone out a lot for audiobooks, but Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors made up for this one like significantly. For 2022, the March buzzword is locations. So it could be like general locations like city, town, country, state, whatever, or like specific locations. A lot of these I didn't read, but I'll specify when I do read. Ghost of Harvard I did read. I gave it 5 stars and I listened to it on audio and I own it physically. My girl Natalie got it for me for my birthday, so thank you, Natalie. Such a good audiobook, y'all. It's pretty long. It talks a lot about like grief and the ghosts and like the setting, and it's very atmospheric. That's the word I was looking for. And it had like a mystery aspect to it and like a sibling dynamic, and it had mental health reps. So good. City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, which is also really good. It's a historical fiction that I gave 5 stars to. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote Eat, Pray, Love, if you didn't know. And this one's about a girl who got sent to live with her eccentric theater owner aunt in New York, and then she like lives the New York nightlife, and it's basically a coming of age story that's set in, I don't even know the time period, but it's in New York and it's a fun time. Then there's The City Baker's Guide to Country Living, which is another 5-star read for me. It's all the cozy vibes. If you love Gilmore Girls, read this book. That is all. Lights in Prague, which I have not read. Oh no, my earring. I love the cover, it's stunning. It has bats on it, and y'all know how I feel about bats. In April 2021, the buzzwords were like space or galaxy terms, and I read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. I read this book for my Reading Books That Made Noelle Gallagher Cry video, so I'll link that down below. I think I gave this 3 or 4 stars. It was a beautiful book. It had such good writing. It had all like the melancholy vibes that everyone talks about. I just like wasn't really in the mood for it, I don't think, because I was reading all these sad books for this video already. So I just kind of wanted to get through it, but I personally didn't do it justice, but I know it, like objectively, it was a really good book. April of 2022, the buzzword is big or little or large or small. So like size words. Some suggestions are Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. The show is really good. I have not read the book yet. Tiny Pretty Things, which I also have not read, but I think it's about ballet. A Little Life. I need to get to it in 2022 because I told Sarah from Sarah Shelves that we were gonna read it together this year and we never got to it, but I'm like terrified of that book because I know I'll probably cry because I cry at everything. Little Women, movie's better than the book in my opinion. And then there's Little Thieves by Margaret Owen, who is the author of The Merciful Crow. I heard that one's really good, and there are like morally great characters who have to make tough decisions, and it's a YA fantasy, and the cover is stunning. Thank you, Malka, for getting me that book. In May of 2021, the buzzwords were like house/home. I read House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. This was so good. Naomi from Naomi's Library sent me this book, so thank you, love you, miss you. So this is about sisters who went missing and then came back home, but they weren't themselves like whatsoever, and everyone was trying to figure out why. Can we just take a moment for this cover? This was a 5-star book, and it had a lot of like true crime and thrillery aspects to it, so loved that. May of 2022, the buzzword is like directions. So like up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west. I have The Upside of the Unrequited. That's by Becky Albertalli, if I'm remembering correctly. I have no idea what it's about. That's the first one that came to mind. Down Comes the Night by Alison Saft, which I am about 200 pages into, and it's a sapphic YA romance. It has all the gothic vibes. There's like a sickness going around, and there's this character that the main girl is taking care of, and it has really good writing. I don't know why it's taking me this long to freaking finish. And then there's Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, which is really good. The whole book takes place in a matter of 60 seconds while he's on an elevator, and all these like people from his past visit him. It's a really short, quick read. It's told in verse, and the writing is really good, and it makes you think. Let's just put it that way. And then there's East by Edith Pateau. I read this book twice. I read it once for summer reading in like, I don't know, middle school or something, and then I read it again in college, and it was still good, and I really want to continue the series. But it's about this girl who travels to this like magical kingdom with this talking polar bear. It sounds dumb, but but it's so good. The writing just really takes you there on the journey with her. She and her family are like really big about names. The name that she was given made her family kind of treat her as an outcast, so then she leaves and travels and finds this bear, and then there's this kingdom with this like ice queen, and it gets intense, honestly. So those are all I have for that. I could probably think of more, but you know, can't be bothered right now. June of the buzzword was names or titles, so specific character names or like king, queen, prince. I read Anna K Away by Jenny Lee for this one. So this is a sequel to Anna K, a YA Anna Karenina retelling. I have not read Anna Karenina. I own it. I'm scared to read it. It's huge. The first one was really good. I prefer the first one to this one. It has a lot of perspectives in both books, so it takes a while to get accustomed to who's who and how they relate to each other. Once you get it all straight and you're in the story, all the drama, it's like rich kid drama, and there are like scandals and relationship problems and everything, and it's just a fun time. It's Gossip Girl meets Crazy Rich Asians is how it's pitched. So this is a sequel, and Anna K goes to Korea for the summer, and honestly it was pretty forgettable compared to the first one. The first one's ending had me screaming. For next year, the June buzzword is all, just the word all. I have All's Well by Mona Awad, who is the author of Bunny, which is one of my favorite books. It involves Shakespeare, so I'm kind of intimidated by it. Jesse read it for their Patreon, and they were super confused. They have no idea what happened. Like to this day, they have no idea what they read. They said, I'm definitely gonna be confused, but they think that I'll enjoy the experience of reading it. They said that it represents chronic illness really well. Take that as you will. There's also All of Us Villains by Christine Lynn Herman and Amanda Foody. I feel like that's such a brilliant co-author duo because their like genre is so similar. I haven't read anything by Amanda Foody, but I did read The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman and I loved it. But this one involves like blood magic and like legacies, and there's a competition, and I heard it's really good. It came out recently and I love the cover, and it was definitely an impulse buy when I bought it like a couple months ago. There's All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I'm on page like 40 of this book, and I was supposed to buddy read it with Hannah from Hannah's Recent Reads, but we were both like, maybe next year. But I've heard like people have cried over this book. People have like swooned over this book because it's a romance between this girl who like uproots her life and moves to this, I think it's a small town. The landlord, I think, is the one she falls in love with, and it's like a dad of this younger dude. I don't know, but I just heard it's good. So All Our Hidden Gifts by Carolyn O'Donoghue. I heard this is sapphic. I heard it involves tarot magic, and it's YA, and it sounds really good. I might read that one honestly for this one because I've been putting it off for too long. There's All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, which I know is Naomi from Naomi's Library's favorite book, and it's historical fiction set in France, and I love anything set in France, and I know the chapters are really short, so excited for that one. I hope I cry. Hello. I'm crying. July of 2021, the buzzword was last, and I was either gonna read The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager or The Last Story of Mina Lee, but I didn't get to them on time. I did read The Last Time I Lied in my Riley Sager reading vlog. I'll have that link down below. But yeah, I didn't read anything for that month. But in 2022, July's buzzword is book-related words. So book, paper, page, library, librarian, and there are so many books nowadays that have those words in the title. So there's The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I've yet to read anything but The Rules of Magic by her, but I do own that book, so I'm excited to continue that witchy series. There's The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, which is on my top 22 books I want to read in 2022. I heard it's super creepy. There's Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I think that comes out in June, maybe? Definitely before July. And Emily Henry wrote People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read, so I'm super excited for that because I love Beach Read. I still have to read the other one though. The Library of the Dead by... I forgot the author. The Personal Librarian by Marie Benedict has been on my TBR for a while now. It's a historical fiction about, so she's a librarian, but she doesn't tell her boss that she is the daughter of the first Black graduate of Harvard, I think, or something like that. It just sounds so interesting. The Library of the Unwritten, which is a library in hell with all the manuscripts that haven't been finished. So excited for that one. There's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'm sure you've heard of that one. That's been going around BookTube and Bookstagram forever now. The Book of Living Secrets, which doesn't come out until April, I think, or something. I have an arc for it. The Spellbook of the Lost and Found. I forgot the author, but I've had that one for years on my shelves. All I know is it's set in Ireland and there's a spellbook involved. Moving on to August of 2021. The buzzword was time of day. For that month, I read Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Again, I'll have my Riley Sager reading vlog linked down below. This one, I guessed the twist for literally on page 13, I think, or 26. I still don't remember which one it is, but that I did not appreciate, but the ending was really good. There was such a small cast of characters that it was so easy to guess who the killer was, but it's set in the 90s, and literally I got this from McKay, but he was like, the only reason you know it's set in the 90s is because they don't have cell phones and because Nirvana plays on every other page. Riley Sager only made it set in the 90s simply for the fact that she wouldn't have a phone. So she's stuck in this car for like 6 hours or whatever with this potential serial killer, and she doesn't have a cell phone to like help herself. But the ending made it, I think, 4 stars for me, so there's that on that. August 2022, the buzzword is items. Literally so vague. So there's the picture of Dorian Gray. In my dreams I hold a knife, which I've heard such good things about. I just bought it like last month, and it's a psychological thriller with like dark academia. So excited for that one. That's the one I'd probably read for this. Girls of Paper and Fire, such a good trilogy. Girls with Sharp Sticks, I haven't read it, but Hannah says it's really good. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which Naomi says is really good. I'm thinking of making that one a book club pick one of the months this upcoming year. There's The Scarlet Letter, obviously a classic. It's My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, which I still want to read despite Jesse's negative thoughts on it. All right, September of 2021, the buzzword was dark, and I read In a Dark Dark Wood by Ruth Ware on audio. This was my first Ruth Ware. Surprise, surprise, I gave it 3 stars. It was an audiobook. I listened to it while I was at work, pretty much. Honestly, I forgot about it for the most part. I just know this girl was like invited to this wedding of this girl that she like hasn't talked to for years and didn't even really like, but she went anyway, and then shit went down. I liked the twist. Don't ask me what the twist was because I don't remember, but it was intense. Like, I remember my jaw dropping while driving home from work during the twist of this book. All I can say though. September of 2022, the buzzword is light and dark type of words. Kayla says it could either be, you know, literally just light or dark in the title, or like even like shadows or bright or related words. But for this one, I have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which has been on my TBR forever. There's A Light in the Attic by Shel Silverstein. Yikes, I don't know how to say his name. I don't remember which one it is. That's a classic poetry collection. Dark and Shallow Lies is a new YA release. I have an arc of that book, I think. There's A Flicker in the Dark, which comes out in January. That was my book of the month pick for December. That's an option. There's The Light We Lost. I really liked. I think I gave that one 5 stars, despite some tropes that I didn't enjoy. I read that one for my Books That Made Gabby Reads Cry video, which I will also link down below. That was back in January. Wow. Yeah, I definitely cried in that book. Spoiler alert. The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, which has been in my shelves forever, and then Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, which is a 5-star read. I recommend. If you are trying to decide on one Riley Sager book to read, pick up Home Before Dark. In October this year, the buzzword was elements. So I chose to read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I talked about this earlier. My new favorite thriller of all time. It is so good. It's an isolated setting type of book in Scotland. The main premise is that the husband can't even recognize his own wife because he has that disorder where he can't recognize familiar faces. And so shit goes awry, and they're in this isolated setting, and I love books with that trope. Oh, Jesse's Sapphic-a-thon vlog just went up. Next year, the buzzword is creatures and animals. And this is great because I've been wanting to do like a snake-themed vlog, a wolf-themed vlog, etc. So I have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, which is on my top 22 books of 2022 that I want to read, so I'll link that video down below. There's Sisters of the Snake. It's a YA. I haven't heard anyone talk about this book, but it's a YA book, and it's actually written by sisters, so that's dope. And I'm pretty sure they're like 20 years old or something. They're like super young. And then there's Empire of the Vampire, so that's like a creature technically. Heard good things about that one. The Wolf of Oren-Yaro, which is a fantasy by a Filipino author, so I'm excited for that. An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. That is a super short YA fantasy that I've yet to read, and I love Margaret Rogerson's writing. Yeah, I read Vespertine this year, and I read Sorcery of Thorns a couple years ago, and I just bought it again this year because I want to reread it because it's just that good. There's Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin, The Swallows by Lisa Lutz, which is like an adult dark academia. That's all I know about it. There's Bunny by Mona Awad, The Ravens by Danielle Page and Cass Morgan, but that one's about basically a sorority of witches, and the twist was phenomenal. Beasts of Prey is another one that you could read, and I'm so excited for this one. This one came out this year, and I've heard such good things. It's about this girl who accidentally releases a zoo of magical beasts, basically, and Jessie read it already and gave it 5 stars, so super excited for that one. All right, November 2021, the buzzword was lost, and I read The Lost Girls by Sonia Hartle. I read this one for Sapphic-a-thon for November. I really liked it. If you didn't know, Jessie and I host Sapphic-a-thon every month. It's a 24-hour monthly readathon where you just read sapphic books. We're trying to incorporate like different things like prompts and group books and stuff like that, so look out for those announcements if you missed all the other ones, but that is continuing in 2022. And I'm so excited. But this is a sapphic YA vampire revenge story, and it was really good. It was hilarious. I was laughing throughout the whole thing. There were some like super YA, like super cheesy lines, but at the end of the day, it did remind me of like a much less poetic and a much less sophisticated version of A Dowry of Blood, which y'all know is my favorite book of 2021. Spoiler alert for my top 10. November of 2022, the buzzword is words that end in ing. So I have The Taking of Jake Livingston, which is really good. I think I gave that one 4 stars, and it's super short, super easy, super quick. It's about this guy who could talk to ghosts, and then there's like a serial killer aspect to it, and it's really good. I have Looking for Alaska, which you know is one of my favorite books of all time. It's by John Green. It's my favorite John Green book. Basically made me who I am today. Let's be freaking real. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who's my favorite author of all time, but this one sadly was a disappointment for me, but a lot of people did love this one, and a lot of people have been considering this their favorite book of the year. So take that as you will, once again. Stalking Jack the Ripper series. Oh, the whole series, yeah. So there's Stalking Jack the Ripper, Hunting Prince Dracula, Escaping Houdini, and Capturing the Devil. So either one of those fits this prompt. I've only read the first one so far. I've been putting Hunting Prince Dracula on my TBR for freaking months now. The Year of the Witching. Christina from Christina's Chapters got that for me like super early this year, and I have yet to read it. Dancing at the Pity Party, which is a graphic novel that made me cry. I read it for my video for books that made Liv's Library cry, so I'll have that link down below. Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. I've heard good things about that one. It looks like a super fast YA romance. All right, almost done. Thank God. I just want to drink my coffee already. So December of this year, like I said, I have yet to read my pick for it, but the buzzword was day or month or season, and I chose Summer Suns by Lee Mandello. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get to this because I haven't started. I read like 2 pages yesterday and I couldn't get into it. I know, I barely gave it a chance, but like, I don't know, I've been in a weird reading mood lately. But I know Elias loved this book. I'm pretty sure Kayla read this book, but I forgot her thoughts on it. I don't know, I've heard mixed things about this one. It's about these 2 best friends who investigate this death in their school, I think, so it's like dark academia kind of. But then there's also like a bunch of like toxic masculinity throughout, is what I heard, at least from Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction. Said that in her review, so I don't know, we'll see if I end up reading that one. December 2022, the buzzword is numbers. So there's Ninth House by Lee Bardugo, which I'm hoping to read next month. There's November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I read my first Colleen Hoover this month. I read Ugly Love. I'm willing to give her another chance. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So freaking good. 5-star read. Best love triangle I've ever read. Made me cry. One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. It's a YA thriller. The Five. I don't even know who wrote that. I'm too lazy to find it on my shelves, but it's called The Five. It's about the 5 women that Jack the Ripper killed and like their background story and stuff when they were prostitutes and everything. It's nonfiction, it's true crime. I'm so excited to get to that one. There's 6 of Crows by Lee Bardugo, which I read this year. I have yet to read Crooked Kingdom though. The 1000th Floor by Catherine McGee. Oh my god, this series, y'all, if y'all like Gossip Girl, this is basically Gossip Girl but in the future. And the drama is just everything. And like all the characters, there's like con artists, there's technology involved, there are deaths, there's secrets, there's lies, there's so much packed in this series, y'all. I can't wait to reread this. There's The One by John Mars. Kat from BookTube Beginnings, this is her favorite book of all time, and she got it for me, and I've yet to read it. I know the chapters are really short, so. The 13th Tale, The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. 7 Days in June, such a good book. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, y'all know about that one. Everybody and their mamas have read that one and have talked about it on BookTube or Bookstagram, but if you haven't yet, please pick it up. It's by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then I have The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, which I'm hoping to read next month for a secret TBR video. All right, that is all. Perfect timing. Kevin's done playing games. If you made it to the end of this video, put the bee emoji down below. Let me know if you have other suggestions in the comments down below. Help each other out. Or Buzzword-a-thon. I'm so excited. Hope y'all are too. Thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all had a great day. Merry everything and happy always, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.